Hello learners, Namaskar to all. Welcome to this course BEDS 001 Overview and Perspectives of Values. I am your course coordinator Dr. Grace Dawn Namjing. Let me give you a brief introduction about this course. This particular course was developed to bring awareness to the depleting values which are taking place everywhere. We are seeing that in a society the values are degrading. The respect, for example, respect for the elders, or the very bonding we had with our neighbors, or in fact the bonding within the family has depleted, degraded to such an extent that now respect for the elders or obedience from the children to their parents is depleting, degrading. So we as a school, we as the coordinators, especially me as the course coordinator, felt that we should introduce a course which is Overview and Perspective of Values to bring awareness, to increase awareness on why value education is important, why values is to be reaffirmed in the society. In this particular course, we will be talking about the various social evils, the social malaises which are existing in our society today. We are going to talk about the concept of morality, moral education, character, personality. We will also discuss the values which are enshrined in the Indian philosophy, the various values for sustainable development, and so on. So this particular course will bring awareness, and it will increase your knowledge on why values are depleting, why values are coming down in the society, and why we need value education. So this is a brief introduction to the course, which is Overview and Perspective of Values, and the course code is BEDS 001. And as I said before, I am your course coordinator, Dr. Grace Dawn Namjing. This particular course, Overview and Perspectives of Values, has 3 blocks, and each block is further divided into units. This particular block has 4 units. Today we will be discussing the first unit of course, BEDS 001 Block 1. Let me explain again. Let's say you have a book. That book will have a title. The title would be the name of the course, and in that book you will have chapters. Those chapters are units. So this is how we are going to do it. Today we are going to do the first chapter of the course, which is Social Malaise and the Need for Value Education. So the name of the course is Overview and Perspectives of Values. In this particular course you have the first block, that is, let's say volume 1. If you have a book, the title will be Overview and Perspectives of Values. Volume 1 would be Block 1, Conceptual Framework, and then within the volume 1 you'll have what is called the chapter name, and here we have what is called the unit title, Social Malaise and the Need for Value Education. I belong to School of Extension and Development Studies. I would be your course coordinator, and I will be taking these lessons, these online classes. Today we start with the first unit, which is Social Malaise and the Need for Value Education. The objective of this unit is to describe the major social cultural malaises prevalent in Indian society. When we talk about social cultural malaises, it means the various social evils which are taking place, which are prevalent, which are existing in Indian society. For example, the rampant corruption which is taking place in the society. Then we have social evils like kidnapping. We have rape of young girls which are taking place. Then we have thefts which are increasing, and so on. So these are the major social cultural malaises. And then also the objective of this unit is to tell you about the relationship between education and value education. When we say education, education is not always value education. So we have to understand the relationship between what is education and what is value education. Education is Let's say you go to the school, you learn your lessons, you are educated, but You being just educated may not entail that you have values instilled in you. So we have to understand the relationship between what is education and what is value education. And then we will discuss the role of parents and teachers in imparting education. How important is the role of parents and teachers in imparting education? This particular roles of parents and teachers are so important, because when we talk about parents, parents are the ones who teach you the first values in the home environment. They are the ones from whom you see and observe and see what values are to be instilled in you, and by observing how your parents behave, values are inculcated. So parents, it will not be wrong to say that parents are your first role models who instill values in you. And teachers, because after parents, when you start your formal education, when you go to schools, teachers are a very important part of your life. You spend more than 10 years of your life in a surrounding, in a school surrounding, in an educational institution. So teachers have a very important role, because they are the ones who create impact in young minds. So we are going to see how the role of parents and teachers is important in imparting education. So these are the objectives of this unit. Now let us now move to what are the social malaise, social evils affecting the Indian society. There is a maddening pursuit for accumulation of physical wealth, power and status at the cost of humanness in us. Though we are very proud of our ancient culture, which upholds spiritual development over materialistic pursuits, but in reality it has become shrouded in the pages of scriptures or of history. If we see majority of us, if we see people around us, there is this mad pursuit of gaining wealth, power and status at the cost of what is called humanity in us. We see that there is this want to accumulate so much of wealth to get power and status. So this is what is happening around us. The want, the maddening pursuit for accumulation of wealth, power and status is one of the malaise affecting the Indian society. And also we have the declining social environment, which is a major determinant of increasing mental health problems in recent years. We have poverty, you have overcrowded living conditions, unemployment, job security and inequity, a growing number of broken relations and marriages, man-made natural disasters, wars. So these are some of the social factors which are in a way increases mental health problems. When you have poverty, when you are poor, when you live in overcrowded place where you don't have proper infrastructure, when you have unemployment, job insecurity, there is a lot of broken relationship between people, between family members, and you see the rate of divorces are increasing, marriages are breaking down, you have man-made natural disaster, wars which are taking place, and also in fact ethnic violence as well as violence against women, children and aged are some of the major factors which have aggravated the situation to such a extent that you see the level of intolerance, the level of tolerating others who come from other religious background, economic background and so on are the intolerance are increasing, your tolerance level is reducing. So we have a lot of violence, communal violence which are taking place, especially violence towards people who belong to religious minorities or people who belong to a weaker section of the society. So we have violence increasing, level of tolerance is decreasing and level of intolerance is increasing. For instance, other social malaise is when we talk about educational institutions like the private schools, colleges, which are for privileged sections out of reach for the poor. We have certain schools and colleges which are so expensive that they cater to only the privileged sections out, and they are out of reach for the common masses, for the poor. We have colleges and schools charging so much of amount of fees that it is, it is taken that it is only for the wealthy or for people who can afford it. So this deepens the social divide, while education is supposed to bridge this divide between the poor and the rich. But this contradiction, this divide has led to erosion of human values like equality. We don't have equality in a lot of educational institutions because we have private schools and colleges which are charging so much and they are out of reach for the poor. Then we have occurrence of incidents of social malaise which smashes the comfort of the world. We have severe poverty, family conflict, violence, alcoholism or drug abuse in the home which destroys the peace and tranquility at home. We have alcoholism which destroys the peaceful atmosphere at home. We have the instances of drug abuses which are increasing, and because of these instances you have the peace and tranquility of home which are being destroyed. Then we have corruption, which is another social malaise. Corruption in the society is another malaise. It is becoming widespread and deep rooted. Lust for wealth and power and dissatisfaction with simple lifestyles are leading to widespread corruption. Loss of bonding among human beings is also a major social malaise. When we talk about loss of bonding, in the beginning of this lecture, I was talking about how within family members also, nowadays in majority of households we see how children would shut themselves in the room, and they would because of internet facilities, they will shut themselves in the room and they will play games, or they will just not communicate with their parents. So there is a loss of bonding among the family members. And also, if you see the locality or the buildings in which you live, we find that a lot of people do not know who their neighbors are. There is a loss of bonding. There is this relationship that used to take place between neighbors in a locality or in the building. We have seen how this bonding between neighbors and within the family members also decreasing. So this is another social malaise. Communication between family members, communication between neighbors are also decreasing. This is what is a major social malaise. Then the corruption that which is existing in the society, which is becoming widespread and deep rooted. Religious scriptures teaches us love thy neighbor as thyself. It teaches us not to inflict pain or cause sufferings to others, either by words or deeds and so on. But most of us does not practice this. We have a lot of religious scriptures which teaches us to love our neighbor, not to inflict pain or cause sufferings. The father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, teaching us ahimsa, non-violence. But what has become of us? We are seeing that these are just in the scriptures. Now we read it and we forget it. We do not practice this. We, in spite of the beautiful teachings that the scriptures, the religious scriptures have taught us, those remains only in the pages of the scriptures. Most of us do not practice this. So this is a very sad instances when, in spite of reading such valuable lessons from scriptures, most of us do not practice it. In the beginning, I talked about how it is important to understand the relationship between education and value education. We have talked about the social malaises, the social evils which are taking place in the society. Now, that is the first objective when I started this particular online lecture. The second objective now is to understand the relationship between education and value education. Value education is an essential part of education. Without the inclusion of this essential component, the aim of imparting education, which is to develop good human beings, will not be fulfilled. It is rather a contradiction in terms to say that a person is highly educated but does not exhibit values in his or her thoughts and actions. So when we talk about value education is a very essential part of education. Let's say you go to school, you go to colleges, you go to a college, you go to a university, and you become very educated and you have very high qualification. But then when you do not have values, when values are not inculcated, when you are not able to take in values, then this education may help you to get a good job, but it will not help you to develop you into a good human beings, because we live in a society where it is good to establish good relations with other members of the society. You may be very highly qualified, you may have very high education, but then to have values is also a very essential part of being a good human being, to cultivate a wholesome personality. When we talk about the need for value-oriented education, we have discussed so many social malaise, the social evils which are existing in the society today. Then because of these social evils, because of these social malaise like corruption, because of the loss of bonding between members of the society, the loss of bonding between the family members, we have a lot of social evils like kidnapping, robberies, you have rape of young girls which are taking place, and then a lot of marriages are breaking down, divorces are increasing. So the challenge of combating social malaise cannot be tackled by one group or community in isolation. It is very important that this social evils, these social malaise should be tackled by through a wholesome approach, that is through a holistic approach, through a national consensus. Religious leaders, community activists, political thinkers, and civil society organization must develop socially sound intervention and strategies for combating these social malaise. So when we talk about the need to tackle these social evils or these social malaise, we cannot have one group or a community to tackle this social malaise in isolation. We need a holistic approach and a national consensus. We need the participation of religious leaders. How can religious leaders help in combating social malaise? We see that a lot of us look up to our religious leaders. We see that a lot of us go to mosques, temples, churches, gurudwaras. We see that religious leaders, because they have such a high standing in our respective societies, we look up to them. So when religious leaders teaches us the importance of values, it is very easy for us to listen to them and also to adapt them in our life. Then the role of political thinkers, the role of civil society organizations, we have NGOs which organizes camps, we have NGOs which offer free services to citizens, to members of the society, in order to resolve certain problems which are taking place. So a lot of these organizations have a very important role to play in tackling these social malaises, these social evils, and also they can develop socially sound interventions and strategies for combating the social malaises. When we talk about this holistic approach, let me give you an example of the Resident Welfare Association. You may be living in a certain locality which has Resident Welfare Association, And this particular resident welfare association would help in providing peace in the locality by solving problems of certain social evils which are taking place in that particular locality. It gives you a sense of comfort because you have resident welfare association which tackles problems of their respective locality. So RWA also play a very important role. Then you have your political thinkers, community activists who also play a very important role in tackling social malaise. So value education is very much needed, and it is a very important part of education. We need values. We need to be aware of values. We need to instill values. I know that you and me have values, but at times our values may be suppressed. So it is time that we bring out these values and we bring what is called increase human bonding between members of the society. We increase what is called peaceful environment in the society. So it is up to you and me to bring these values and make it last and make it a lifelong goal to impart values, to be more value oriented as members of the society. So this is the first session of the first unit, which is social malaise and the need for value education. In the next session we will continue. We will see how important the role of parents and teachers are in value education.